Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips MLB Daily Fantasy Preview Show for today, or the 25th of June. I'm going to be looking at everything you need for success in your baseball daily fantasy games on DraftKings today. I will be looking at starting pitchers, stacks of the day, how we can construct our rosters to ensure maximum point scoring potential, foundation players that should be used as the foundation to build a winning lineup, and value plays. For anyone that hasn't signed up to play with DraftKings yet, I will put a link in the description for this video to enable you to do so, send you to the right place. I'm going to now dive straight in with the starting pitchers today. Pitcher looks quite top heavy considering it's a fairly full card. There is not a lot of trust in the cheaper options, so I would recommend spending a hefty chunk of your budget on pitcher today, though that obviously will then lead you to struggle to get as involved in some other game matchups with the hitters as you would like to. Madison Bumgarner of San Francisco. He is $14,000 today, which is a fair old chunk of change, but he is money as it comes, as money as it comes at home. And a matchup against the struggling Phillies looks a relatively simple job for a man who were hard luck loser last time on the hill against Pittsburgh with 1 earned run in 8 innings pitched. Bumgarner has 115 strikeouts in 102 innings this year, has pitched into the eighth in three of his last 4. There's nothing you could not like about Madison Bumgarner today, and I'm sure you will get your points from him, and I'm sure that, you know, they've got to beat the Phillies today, surely. Carrasco of the Cleveland Indians is 10,000. Carrasco gets the Tigers. They do rank high in strikeouts in MLB this year, top 6 I believe. He has been good the last twice. He's 42 strikeouts in 47 innings pitched, solid 6 with 6 strikeouts in each of his last 3 starts. Has had some issues with the Tigers in the past, but I fancy he'll go well today, and you know, as I say, it is a difficult-ish day today, and the other pitcher is fairly obvious as well. It's Julio Teheran of the Atlanta Braves for 12,600. Teheran struck out 7 Mets in a complete game last week in a 6-0 victory for the Braves. Reopposes today against the same starting pitcher in Jacob deGrom. Considering the Mets are a top 10 strikeout team, that strikeout total actually is a little bit disappointing, really, 7 in 9 innings. But Teheran has 92 in 98 innings pitched this year. A repeat performance would do you lovely if he can do that today against the Mets. Obviously, you can't really be expecting complete game shutouts every time, but I'm sure Teheran is going to have a good game and keep the Braves certainly relevant in the game and keep it close at worst. So I think he's a solid play. Those are the only 3 that I couldn't find major doubts about today. There was nothing down the bottom that I like at all. So, yeah, I'm probably myself going to stick to cash and pay up a pitcher and see what we can squeeze in elsewhere. Speaking of that, stacks of the day, obviously it is a Coors day. Shelby Miller and Jorge De La Rosa are pitching at Coors today. Those are pitchers that have had issues. You've got a lefty going for Colorado, which is beneficial for Arizona. Shelby Miller, the righty, obviously is going to be beneficial for Colorado as well. I think all hitters are in play at Coors today, so I'm not going to waste any time by sitting here and breaking down specific stacks. Get as many of them in as you can. Other stacks you might want to use are the Houston Astros. Chris Young is a fly ball pitcher. Houston have got a lot of pop in their lineup, as we know. Great hitting conditions are forecast with strong winds blowing out at Kauffman Stadium today. Outfielder George Springer is 4,500. He's a 266 hitter with 16 home runs. Outfielder Colby Rasmus is 3,900. He hits from the right side of the platoon in this matchup. Lefties have given Young particular problems. Rasmus has a home run off of Chris Young, 245, 10 home runs, and he hit one yesterday. Shortstop Carlos Correa's 4,800. He's hitting 261, 11 homers this year. Second baseman Jose Altuve for 5,100. 340, 12 homers, 18 steals. Gives you complete production at the top of the lineup. And Marwin Gonzalez, he qualifies at first and third. He's 4,100. Another one, the switch hitter, has a home run off of Chris Young. 256 with 5 homers on the year. The other stack I'm looking at today is the San Diego Padres. They are good against lefties. They get Brandon Finnegan today at Great American Ballpark. Finnegan has been good lately, but we know it's a nice yard. I think the stack is worth a look. It's just whether or not you think, how motivated are Cincinnati going to be in this game with Pete Rose being inducted into their Hall of Fame today? Might they just up their game a little bit? But I still think, you know, these hitters are worth a look against the left-hander. Outfielder Matt Kemp, 4,900. Hits from the right side of the platoon, 266, 16 home runs. First baseman Will Myers, Whopping 5,500, leads this team with 17 home runs, 289 average, the right side of the platoon. He hit one out of the park yesterday. Melvin Upton in the outfield, it's 4,400. He hit two of them out of the park yesterday from the right side of the platoon. 263 hitter, now has 11 home runs on the year. And Jhonny Diaz qualifies at second and third. He's 3,400. The switch hitter's a 269 hitter with 4 home runs, though he did get started late this year, hence the low total. For my foundation players today, there's a lot of calls here. First baseman Paul Goldschmidt of Arizona for 5,600. It's got to be the top play at first today. Has the platoon advantage against De La Rosa at Coors Field. He has hit a home run off of Jorge De La Rosa. He's a 300 hitter with 14 home runs on the year. Second baseman Jose Altuve for Houston, as touched on earlier. It's 5,400. Chris Young often gives opportunities. Conditions negate the negative in the park factor today. He's hitting 340, 12 home runs and 18 stolen bases, though you know how wise it is to run on Kansas City. I don't know. Third baseman Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies for 5,500. This man just hits home runs. He's got 21 this year, 299 batting average. Shelby Miller hasn't been consistently good at any point this year, and the game takes place at Coors Field. My shortstop will be Carlos Correa for 4,800. See Jose Altuve for Chris Young comments. The wind is blowing out there today. 261, 11 homers on the year. And he has Manny Thomas in the outfield. I put him up for 4,100 today. 4,900 he is tonight. Not as cheap at all after the 2 home run day yesterday, but I'm going to stick with him. He's got a home run off of Jorge De La Rosa. He's much better against left-handed pitching. He hits from the right side of the platoon today. 263, 12 home runs the year. For my value plays today, catches are expensive today. Jonathan Lucroy, 4,000. Gets Gio Gonzalez. Gio has been poor this month. Lucroy has had success against him in minimal plate appearances. Miller Park is obviously great for hitters as well. 301 hitter with 10 home runs on the year. First baseman sticking in Milwaukee's Chris Carter, 3,800. He is boom or bust. It tends to be home run strikeout, but with Gio's struggles, I'm willing to put him in there from the right side of the platoon. Only a 224 average, but 18 home runs this season. My second baseman is Chris Coughlin of the Chicago Cubs, who also qualifies in the outfield. He's only 3,200 today. He will likely bat lead off for the Cubbies with the platoon advantage over the distinctly average Paul Clemens for Miami. His average is only 159. 5 home runs on the year, but he hasn't been seeing regular playing time until recently, since Dexter Fowler went down. My third baseman is Jhonny, who can also slot in at second for 3,400. Has the platoon over Finnegan in a nice ballpark at Great American Ballpark. He does hit relatively high in the order, 269 with 4 home runs. He went 3 for 5 yesterday, so he's clearly swinging a good bat. At shortstop, Madison Diaz of the St. Louis Cardinals is 3,900. He's a consistent hitter who is platoon proof. Nathan Carnes has been allowing base runners lately in recent starts. The park isn't great, obviously, but Diaz is a 307 hitter with 9 home runs this year. And in the outfield, we'll go with Colby Rasmus for 3,900. Platoon advantage, homer off Chris Young, who loves to give up a home run. The wind is blowing out in KC today. 245, 10 homers. That's what I've got for you today. Best of luck with your lineups. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like the video, hit me up in the comments with the daily fantasy plays you like today, and press that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be here all MLB season and through the NFL season with daily fantasy sports advice. If you haven't signed up yet, or you're interested in starting to play daily fantasy sports, please click the link in the description for this video, and that'll take you where you need to go to start playing with DraftKings today. Best of luck with your lineups and have a great day.